Hi crafty folks, Amy here, and I have a not as intended video to share with you today. Now to get started, I'm going to show you this Christmas poinsettia die cut set that I recently acquired. I have some very old hand-me-down pattern paper that sits neglected with most of my other pattern paper in my craft room. And today I'm going to make a card, actually 2 cards, so if you stick around to the end you'll see a bonus card. But I'm going to use these products not as intended, meaning they're Christmas intended or winter, it's poinsettia plants, but I'm over Christmas, right? I mean, we're past that. I'm not ready to start again working on Christmas stuff for next year, but I want to stretch my supplies and I want to use these new dies because they're cool and fun, and yeah, I want to see what I can make with them that's not necessarily Christmas. So that's the theme of this video today. I'm just going to try and create a card with a product not as intended. So here you'll see I'm just using some temporary low-tack tape, and I used those dies, ran them through my die cutting machine, and cut out a bunch of the different sizes of dies. Now here's a panel that I actually had on my desk. I had made it with this beautiful 3D embossing folder, and it gave it such awesome dimension. And as you can see, it's like a light gray, lightweight cardstock. So I'm just going to use that to kind of set the scene on my A2 size card base. And here I'm just fiddling with the different pieces, figuring out, you know, which configurations on these different patterns. Now, one benefit of using a little booklet like I did is that the patterns are likely going to coordinate to some degree. It's definitely, you know, patchwork and whimsical, but you know, if they come from the same paper pack, then they're likely to get along and look good together. So I'm really just kind of messing with these different options here, different sizes. Ultimately, I don't really want it to look like a poinsettia. If I was thinking about it, I probably shouldn't have used, you know, warmer colors like poinsettias typically are, but I saw this little paper pack in my stash and I thought, hey, I'm going to use it. But honestly, at the end, it almost has this strawberry shortcake feel to it. That's what it takes me back to, is my childhood and strawberry shortcake. So if you remember her, that's what this ends up kind of reminiscent of in my mind. So here I was originally going to attach the leaf, but then I decided I'm not ready for that because I don't really know the layout. So just making a mess and getting liquid glue everywhere, but I'm really just kind of concentrating on the center portion because I'm okay with the leaves kind of like popping up and providing some additional interest and dimension. So like I said, I'm really just kind of sticking the glue in the center of the flowers and going from there. So different combinations of sizes, patterns together. I'm not doing the same uniform thing on all of them because I want them to look different. So you can see I've got a lot of them here that I ended up with, enough for definitely a couple different cards. So stick around and I'll show you the bonus card at the end as well once I finish this one. But I'm just kind of laying them out. I'm kind of thinking that I want to do 3 different blooms just because odd numbers are visually appealing. But you know, you do whatever works for you. But I'm just kind of laying out just a rough idea of what I want to do here. And then once I get them all placed how I think I want them, then I'm going to get some press and seal just to kind of hold it all together. And you'll see that in a moment here. I'm just using my little press tool to hold the card down to keep it from launching all the little pieces. But I have this press and seal, and I'm going to use this to kind of hold all the little flowers in position so that I can, you know, apply glue or foam tape or whatever I want to pop up various elements or glue various elements down. So this is a good way to just kind of, you know, hold everything in place while you're kind of figuring out your layout. And I just pop that up and flip it over. And then I'm going to apply some liquid glue to the leaves because I know that I want the leaves to be flush with the card. I don't really want dimension on those because I kind of want those, you know, behind the flower blooms. So I'm just kind of laying glue down, and I also want that big flower to lay flat. So I kind of have it in my mind that I'm going to apply some additional dimension and pop those smaller flowers on the end up. So I'm kind of just pushing this down, knowing that when I pull it back, those top 2 blooms aren't going to be stuck down because I want to use some little foam squares to pop those up and give it some extra interest. Now, between this embossing folder and the foam tape on these flowers, this is not for the faint of heart. This is definitely going to be a hand deliver type of card. So I'm just putting this down knowing that this is really got a lot of dimension. So, but that's okay. I will just, hand deliver this card to its recipient, and I'm just kind of going through and popping up the little pieces of the flower that aren't glued down. And now I have my sentiment book here. If you've watched my other videos, you may have seen this. These are baseball card protector sheets, and I store a bunch of already made, stamped die cuts or sentiment die cuts and things in here, just to kind of have it ready to go. And it allows me to really, batch my process and mass produce a lot of cards. So I decided to go with this this Love You stamp, and I will link all the products that I use that are available in the video description box below if you expand and scroll down. But I do actually have a different video where I created that that stamped Love You. You can see there's a little bit of a design on there. So I did have a video where I made that, and I'm happy to finally put it to use. But I decided to turn the card to a horizontal orientation because it just kind of worked compositionally with that die cut. Now, I was trying to figure out how I wanted to pop this Love You up, and I didn't really want to mess with more foam dots. So I thought, oh wait, I've got the coordinating die for this. So I took an adhesive backed piece of foam, and I get this from Amazon. I have them in all different colors, but I just ran that through my die cutting machine, and then you can just liquid glue it down to your sentiment, and then you have nice, perfect, even dimension on the back of your sentiment, and then you just remove the adhesive backer, and then it's basically like a glorified sticker. So it definitely works in the situation to give you nice even dimension if you don't want to mess with little fiddly bits of foam tape, which after the flowers I was over it. I wanted some nice clean even dimension. So I'm just going to remove that backer and lay that down. I'm trying to figure out if I want to do it under that little petal or over it. But again, it just takes the perfect space on that composition just to kind of fill that in with a nice big sentiment. And then I'm sitting here debating, I'm thinking, I kind of want to make it a birthday card. I mean, this is a lot of effort. This is an impressive card. So I want to make it for someone's birthday. So I grab a couple simple strips from Tailored Expressions. Now these are white heat embossed on black cardstock, and I'm just going to liquid glue one down to the front of the card and then put the other on the inside of the card for some, continuity from the front, and to use that black in a couple different places. When I design things, if I have black in one place, I want to, maybe apply it somewhere else on the card just to kind of make it match so it's not, kind of random. So I'll do that with colors too. Try and use colors in a couple different places or things like that. And then I use this additional flower just to kind of add more to the design on the inside of the card and liquid glue this sentiment down. And that's basically going to finish this card. Stick around in a moment and I'll show you another card that I was able to make with the rest of the flowers that I had left over. Just going to show you this one though. You can see tons of dimension. That 3D embossing folder really adds a lot of interest, and this is definitely a busy card, but I love it. And do you guys get that strawberry shortcake feel with this? I don't know, it's just really cute. And the next card too also reminds me of strawberry shortcake, but I wanted to go lower profile with this one. So this one I just glued, and this one you can see there's actually even a strawberry in that little card, in that little flower in the center. But this one I wanted to go much more flat. So this one is definitely easier to ship. You can still kind of pop up the petals, but overall it's just glued down directly to the A2 size card base. So I hope you enjoyed these cards today. So I hope this inspires you to get out there and stretch your supplies and use them in ways that were maybe not intended. So if you enjoyed it, please hit the thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. There's more videos below for you to watch, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks. Bye.